I definitely did not plan on doing this tonight, but I am bored and have nothing better to do, and decided, why not? I did say it'd be out tomorrow. It's going to be midnight in 10 minutes, meaning it will be out tomorrow. But, yeah. I'm getting this over with because, like I said a couple hours ago, I am quite a number of episodes behind, and I really need to fix that. So, here we are. I'm not virtually yelling this time, so that's good. But, that's also because it's 11:48 p.m., and I don't want to. So, we're covering, this time, the final installment of the original Halo trilogy. However, not the final installment, period, obviously. Since, I've got several spin-offs and sequels to cover now, so that'll be fun. But, yeah, this is Halo 3, which I totally didn't beat in a day. Not a chance, not at all. No way. Yes, I did. But that's not important. So, from a gameplay standpoint, it's pretty close in terms of quality to 2. Though 2 is just a little bit better. Though in all fairness, I played it on the graphic enhanced 2014 anniversary edition for 2, not for 3. 3 never got an anniversary enhancement for whatever reason. But, yeah, the gameplay, still pretty high quality. New vehicles like the Prowler, the Chopper, and what's the last one called? The Mongoose was introduced here. That's become a staple of the series. And the Hornet, which I'm fairly certain is never seen again. After that, from a story standpoint, you only play as Chief this time. The Arbiter is there and a ally for most of it. Okay, he's always an ally, but he's there a lot. Just not playable. New weapons and such added. There's a lot of gigantic, large-scale battles, akin to the opening of 2. So, you've got Marines everywhere, Scarabs, it's crazy. A lot of the first half or so of this game takes place on Earth, in the UNSC's big final defense, with the Covenant's crazy attack, and also a desperate attempt to figure out where in the goddamn Truth went with his big ship and the Ark, probably. Which, the Ark is a big space station thing, not unlike the Rings, apparently. And so, Truth is stupid. Well, he's not stupid, but nobody likes him. He's stupid. So, after the defense of Earth, Chief's having flashbacks to weird Cortana or whatever's going on here. I don't quite understand Cortana, but she's corrupted by the Grave Mind, except something along those lines. So Cortana is not there for the majority of the game, aside from Chief's weird hallucinations, or her possessed form, or I'm not quite sure what was going on with the random flashes that made my gameplay have a stroke for some reason. But then they go to said the Ark, and things are crazy there. More big fight scenes, Scarabs. You get to drive a tank, because everybody loves tanks. Tanks are fun, because they one-shot just about every Covenant vehicle, aside from Wraiths. It needs 2 shots to take one of those out. If I remember correctly, that is. And 3 Guilty Spark actually willingly helps people. Helps the humans stop the Covenant from activating the Ark. Yeah, the stupid floating ball of death is actually useful. And on board the Ark, there's a whole sequence where the Flood actually help Chief and Arbiter, which is going to pop up there it is. there's the footage. So you have to fight brutes and grunts and jackals with the help of the Flood, which are actually helping to eventually get to Truth. So eventually they do get to Truth, and he starts getting eaten alive by the Flood, and then the Arbiter fucking impales him. Because everybody hates Truth. Truth is a lying, manipulative bastard. But, hey, it's that simple. Oh, and also Sergeant Johnson's there. I forget what he was doing there. And then Miranda Keyes comes to rescue him. And then she gets shot and dies. So that happened. So Johnson escapes with her corpse, and the Arbiter and Chief get surrounded by the Gravemind and his big tentacles of evil, and the Flood decide that they're not going to help us anymore after Truth is killed. So that's fun. And after that, Chief goes to High Charity and rescues Cortana from hordes of the Flood, and sweet Jesus, was that part annoying as all hell. Gives me flashbacks to when the Flood first appeared in Combat Evolved. I hate the Flood in Combat Evolved. And after that, Chief, Arbiter, Cortana, and Johnson go to the last unfinished Halo ring in an attempt to destroy it, since it is unstable, by firing its weapon and letting it collapse on itself. Of course, 343 Guilty Spark had to be the annoying bastard that he was and killed Johnson and tried to kill Chief and Arbiter. Of course, I then shot several rockets and lasers at him, and that was enough to shut him up for good. Then I triggered the weapon and destroyed the last ring, and then we got an intense Warthog run with Chief and Arbiter, similar to the one from the end of Combat Evolved, just as stressful. Different is I actually managed to pull it off this time. And then after that, I don't actually remember. Yeah, they drive onto the Forward onto Dawn, escape through the portal, except, funny story, at the very end, turns out the portal closed when the ship was only halfway through, so Arbiter got back through, but Chief and Cortana end up stranded. And then Chief's just kind of like, fuck this, I'm going to sleep. And the game ended. But, you know, the game overall was still surprisingly good. I wouldn't say surprisingly, since 2 was like a masterclass of game design, and this is eventually followed up with Reach, which is a prequel, but, you know, Reach is also a masterclass of game design. And this holds up pretty solidly against 2. It's better than 1. It's not better than 2. It sure as hell isn't better than Reach, but it was a good conclusion to the trilogy. It resolved the story, it ended the war, but at the same time, it left it open-ended for a sequel. As we know very well, it got 3. So, that's the end of that. But don't worry, I'm not done yet. Not with the games. This is not the last Halo game review you're getting from me on this channel. I'm going to do the Reclaimer Saga. I'm going to do ODST. That's probably first. I'm told that's apparently very short. You can beat it in 2 hours. Which, you know, makes my life easier. Next week you're getting not next week, the week after, you're getting another double review, most likely, of both ODST and probably 4. And then eventually I'll get to 5 and the Wars games, which I'm told I should do Wars 2 at least before I do 6. So I'll get to that later. And then, of course, I'll eventually get to Infinite. then I'll be done with all of this. Of course, that's still just a very small portion of the amount of episodes I need to put out, but, until I actually get around to doing that, that'll be the only thing I can really guarantee is coming. However, I do fully intend on getting a couple episodes out this week. Of course, I said that 2 weeks ago, and that didn't go anywhere. So, you know what? Just don't take anything I say about the future as definitive, because we all know I'm really, really bad at keeping promises. So trust nothing if it comes out of my mouth. But I'm exhausted and don't feel like talking about this anymore, so good night.